What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am back with another review video. Big shout out goes out to isinwheel for reaching out to me again and asking me to review one of their scooters. This is the S10MAX model. I'm gonna go over everything there is to know about this electric scooter. I'm gonna go over the specs. We're gonna do a speed test, a brake test. I'm gonna ride around and talk about the scooter itself and the experience, and as an added bonus, we're gonna take it on a little mini off-road trail over here because we are, after all, at the world famous VoltedAdventures testing ground. There will be chapters down below, so feel free to skip around to whatever part is of interest to you, but first, let's get started with the specs. So this is the isinwheel S10MAX electric scooter. It features a 1000-watt hub motor in the rear, coupled with a 54.6 volts, 15 amp hour battery. This should give you a range of up to 37 miles depending on riding mode and riding conditions, of course. This scooter has an interesting front suspension design and dual rear shocks for a comfortable ride. We have 10-inch pneumatic tires, coupled with mechanical brakes and electronic ABS. This electric scooter has a fairly large deck and a footrest area, which I really like. The handlebar stem can fold for easy transportation. Up in the front we have a little headlight that's fairly bright, and in the rear we have an active brake light and turn signals. That is always good. The total weight of this scooter is 48.7 pounds with a max load of 330 pounds. And up on the handlebars we have our front brake, our thumb throttle, and on-off switch. In the center we have a nice color display with all the information you'll need. And on the left side we have our rear brake, our turn signals, and a bell. And that is pretty much it for the specs. Now, as far as the price of this scooter, it is currently on sale on Amazon for $519. Now, is it a good value for money? That is exactly what we're going to find out today. One thing I wanted to mention is this scooter is over $600 on the isinwheel website, so I highly recommend getting it through Amazon, and I'll have a link in the description, of course, if you're interested in checking it out. But anyways, let's get going. I want to show you the starting procedure on this thing. Alright, so starting procedure, pretty simple. We have a power button. You hold that for a couple of seconds and the scooter will turn on. I hope you guys can see the screen well. It is a bit bright outside, but once we have the scooter on, there is this green person icon down there. That means that we are in walk mode, and you can just hit the throttle and it helps you walk the scooter. If we double click the power button, we'll be in eco mode. There are 3 modes. Double click again, we're in race mode. Double click again, we're in sport mode, the fastest mode. If we press the power button once, it will turn on the headlights. Let's turn it off, but let's see how fast this thing is in sport mode. And the takeoff is pretty immediate. And did you guys hear that beep? I can look down and see this logo, which means cruise control is enabled, which means I can let go of the thumb throttle and the scooter will just keep on going. And according to the scooter, we are going 28 miles an hour, which is the advertised speed. And as soon as we hit the brakes, cruise control is disabled, of course. So they advertised 28 miles an hour, and that is what the scooter said. Unfortunately, I don't have my phone mount. Oh, that beep again, that's cruise control. So if you hold down the throttle for, I believe it's like about 5 seconds, cruise control turns on, and I let it go at 12 miles an hour, and it keeps me at 12 miles an hour. That's a pretty cool feature that I personally like. But as I was saying, I don't have my phone mount on me to compare it to GPS, and at those speeds it's kind of shady just holding it with one hand, so we'll go by what the scooter says. So 28 miles an hour in the fastest mode, that is pretty nice. Now let's go ahead and try our brakes with our brake test. There is a little bush coming up to the right. I'm gonna hit both brakes, try not to flip over. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, Ooh, you can see the skid mark that it left. And we're looking at an estimated, I don't know, about 30 feet or so. But let's give it one more shot for science sake. I always like to run these twice, these brake tests. These are not hydraulic brakes, they're regular cable brakes, but they are brand new, so we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and wait until they bed themselves in. So they will get better and better with time. And let's give it one more shot over here. Braking in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, the rear started sliding out. Actually, we did better than last time. Yeah, we did better by about 3 feet or so. Maybe more, 4 feet. The first time around, you know, it's on a scooter, so I'm kind of hitting the rear brake more than I'm hitting the front brake because I don't want to fly over. So, just something to consider, but we did do better. But anyways, that was our brake test. Now, as far as the scooter itself, let's see. It does have suspension, but the suspension is on like the stiffer side. It definitely feels better than not having any suspension, but the suspension is a bit on the stiffer side, and we'll find out more when we do the little off-road test over here. Let's see our turning radius over here. Oh yeah, pretty good stinking turn on a dime. That's pretty nice. This scooter also comes with an app where you can control a bunch of different settings. The cruise control feature can be turned off if you don't want to have it. As far as speed and power, this thing has a lot of power for the money, which is something I always like. I dig the tires too. They're like hybrid off-road, on-road tires. That is pretty nice. And the scooter itself feels very solid so far. As far as size, I'm 5'8" and I weigh about 160, and the handlebars are like in a perfect comfortable position for me. And as far as how wide the handlebars are, they're like, again, for me it's perfect. The scooter feels very nimble, and so far the scooter feels very solid. We're gonna test it more after our off-road section, and this is just one thing I wanted to show you as far as power. Look at that. It has plenty of power in that rear hub. One thing I really dig is the rear footrest, I guess you can call it. This thing over here, some scooters don't include that, and there's actually like a note that says do not put your foot on the fender. This is amazing. It's a little touch like that I really like. It's giving you more options, so I dig that. But anyways, it is time for our off-road test. Let's see how this thing does. Now you're gonna probably hear my helmet shaking all over the place. This that is that cruise control. This trail, is bumpy. The GoPro never shows it for some reason, but it's bumpy, ups and downs. But so far we're handling it pretty good. Again, the suspension is on the stiff side, but much better than not having any suspension. And I do not think it could be adjusted. Here's our first little uphill. Yeah, I did it with no problem. And we got cruise control on, and we're gaining and gaining speed. Amazing, we're flying through this. I don't think I've ever went this fast through this section. Very bumpy though. Very bumpy. You're probably hearing it on my voice, and my helmet is shaking. So it's bumpy, but it handled it without any issues. Alright, I want to see how things held up, especially the folding mechanism. So let's see that. Oh yeah, solid. Still solid. And nothing seems loose. Again, yeah, these are the shocks in the rear. they are a bit stiff, and also this kind of suspension in the front, a bit stiff. But overall, pretty fun experience. Now, in all of my reviews, I always look at value for money. You know, some things may be better, some things may be less better, but again, what is the price that you're paying? And I've reviewed a lot of electric scooters, and for $519 plus tax or whatever state you're in, that is a pretty decent value for money. Now, some things I like, some things I dislike. I really like the simplicity of the handlebars, the cockpit or whatever. Just one button, not too much things to play with. I like the screen, color display, big screen. I like the speed. Being able to hit 28 miles an hour is amazing. It's a game changer. Anything 25 miles an hour and faster on these things just feels like you're flying, like you're actually moving. So I like that a lot. I like the power that this hub motor has. The tune on here is excellent. I like the response of the throttle and everything. I like the fact that it has a brake light, which I think at this point all scooters should have. I like the fact that it has turn signals. That's really important, really nice. I also like the size of the deck and that extra footrest. Really like those features. Now, some of the things I dislike would be the suspension. Could be a bit softer, but for $500, what you're getting here, I think it's an amazing deal. If I was a kid back in, middle school, high school, whatever, and I got this as a gift, I'd be loving life, you know what I mean? So it's got plenty of power for that. The battery is decent enough to commute with this thing. And overall, I really think this is a great value for money, and I would highly recommend this scooter if you are around the $600, $500, $600 budget. I think it's great. Keep in mind, as I said earlier, the scooter is cheaper on Amazon, so I'll have a link of that in the description if you're interested of checking this thing out. If I was able to provide you guys with any type of value, I would highly appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up. That really helps me out. If you want to see more of these reviews, and there are plenty more coming, definitely hit that subscribe button. But that is pretty much it for me, guys. My name is Tom. This has been the isinwheel S10MAX electric scooter review. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.